eBay and Amazon have been competitors for a long time. Well, okay, granted, Amazon is everyone's competitor, but eBay was the first online site that really figured out the e-commerce system. Granted, it was through basically becoming a flea market, but hey, Amazon realized that there was a lot to that flea market. They realized people did want to buy used goods if they were rare or collectible, or heck, they wanted to buy them used because they were cheaper. And they realized that, hey, this was inventory they didn't need to stock, they didn't have to market it, they just had to collect a fee when it sold. And so Amazon started aping eBay and did extremely well. In fact, third-party sellers on Amazon make for the bulk of Amazon's profit. And yet eBay is still in the game, they are still doing things, and they have a plan that they might actually be able to beat Amazon in this weird market that's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And how does this affect you if you are an eBay and Amazon seller? Well, anyway, hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I have to really like this video. Please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification. We upload videos on a near daily basis and you will want to be notified when they go. So anyway, let's look at this article. Online auction site eBay may have been the first to the e-commerce scene, but it's been lapped in spades by behemoth Amazon.com in the meantime. eBay focused on small-time sellers listing individual items, but Amazon won by catering to mass market merchants. The performance disparity of each of the company stock tells the story. eBay is up to the order of 480% since the beginning of the century, while Amazon shares have gained more than 2,000%, and I just recently sold my eBay stock. The next 20 years don't necessarily have to look like the past 20 have, however. eBay could push back against Amazon's dominance in a way that plays into the edge it holds on its bigger rival. Indeed, it's Amazon's growth that could be setting the stage for eBay should it pursue the opportunity it has in selling unwanted merchandise returns to sellers. And so the market that they're getting into is returns. The prospect of eBay's dive into the business of already purchased items was floated last week when unnamed sources suggested that organization was interested in making an investment in Apptrepreneur, which helps companies process return merchandise and then remarket those goods that can't be put back into inventory. Neither eBay nor Apptrepreneur was willing to comment on the prospect, and as such, the whisper of the possibility went no further. It's noteworthy, however, that Apptrepreneur already lists items on eBay, though it also works with Amazon. Enhancing the relationship wouldn't take a monumental amount of groundwork. In fact, stepping up its returns management game would possibly make eBay the go-to solution for a surprisingly big problem. Doing something constructive with the estimated $309 billion worth of merchandise Appri's retail believes was returned to retailers in 2019. Nobody seems to know the exact figure for the record. That's one of the indications of just how fragmented the reselling industry is. Regardless, the ballpark estimate is still very big, and Appri's figure is on the low end of the estimate scale. The grand irony? Amazon may be the biggest reason the reverse logistics market has grown to its massive size. Whereas about a tenth of all items consumers buy in the store are eventually brought back for a refund, roughly 1/3 of goods bought online are returned. As is the case with brick and mortar store returns, many online purchase returns can't be resold as regular stock. And that could be for a number of reasons. It's defective, they used it, they didn't like the color. I mean, especially now with like the coronavirus going on, would you feel comfortable buying a shirt that you knew someone had bought, went home, tried it on, maybe even wore it for a day, and then decided they wanted to bring it back because it wasn't really to their liking? That could be a problem. So here's the thing. I think where they're going with this is essentially eBay could become like Dollar Tree store. And hear me out, because I know a lot of people like frown at the Dollar Tree stores, but here's the thing. Dollar Tree stores are wildly successful. Wildly successful. With the exception of candy and soda, they pretty much pay pennies on the dollar for everything. That's why they have those cheap movies, they have those cheap items. They find a bunch of inventory that people just don't want, they can't be sold, so the companies sell them for pennies on the dollar, and they write it off as a loss. And then Dollar Tree store goes around, they have this movie they paid 3 cents for, and then they sell it for $1. It's a huge, huge markup, not to mention the food and the utensils and everything. And then I think Dollar Tree even makes some of their own merchandise, which means they get to keep the profit 100%. And that's essentially what eBay wants to do. They want to buy some of this return merchandise that people don't know what to do with and resell it. And guess what? It's a lot more logical to resell it on eBay because people are going to eBay for used stuff. They're going there for opened box items because they want to get it cheaper. And if the stores can't sell it, well, they might as well sell it to someone who can sell it. Now, here's where it's interesting. Retailers have come with an inelegant solution. Big names like Amazon and Walmart dispose of unsellable merchandise by collecting stacks of it on pallets and selling the entire pallet for pennies on the dollar. They don't mind, as there's little else they can do with those goods. The process is far from optimized, though, leaving the door wide open to anyone willing and able to scale up and extract efficiencies. One of those streamliners is, ironically, former eBay executive Howard Rosenberg, who now runs B-Stock Solutions as an answer to the growing problem of leftover merchandise. The company, one of the biggest in the liquidation market, generates revenue of around $150 million last year by selling $2 billion worth of goods, but that's still only about 2% of the liquidation area that overlaps with returns reselling market. As for the estimated $309 billion worth of merchandise returned to merchants last year, most of what can't be sold in stores will end up being sold by the pallet. It's anyone's guess as to what sort of wholesale or retail prices they'll command their second time around. Colorado State University Business School professor Zach Rogers, however, suggested that salvage dealers, flea markets, and charities within the secondary reselling market somehow did around $300 billion worth of business themselves reselling the goods in 2016. The wide range of numbers points to exactly how disorganized the space is. And here's the thing, eBay is ideally suited for this because people go there for used stuff all the time. And here's the thing. They do end by saying this is only a possibility because eBay isn't making a publicized play at Apptrepreneur or any other reverse logistics name, and Apptrepreneur is mum on the matter as well. It's not a development investors can count on or bet on. This is a motley fool, remember. Motley Fool is all about investors. Whispers sometimes have a funny way of coming to fruition later on, though, even if not in the way or with the companies first suggested. If nothing else, it's an idea eBay and its shareholders may want to put on their radars. And yeah, they might want to put it on their radars because eBay could probably use something like this. They just recently sold StubHub, which I think was a mistake, by the way. That's kind of what encouraged me to get out of eBay. They basically needed some cash, but they did get some cash from selling StubHub, but it also weakened their position because they had less companies. A purchase for something like Apptrepreneur, which would strengthen the eBay brand and the store and stuff they could sell on the store, would make a whole lot of sense for a myriad of reasons. I don't know if eBay would actually go for it, but hey, I think it would be a great investment. And it would be interesting to see how Amazon would counter-attack that, because Amazon is actually starting to allow sellers to sell less and less on the site, and mainly because Amazon wants to know where you're getting your inventory. To give permission from Amazon, they say, tell us where you buy your inventory and who your suppliers are. You have to show documentation. And they're doing that for reasons, because they want to study your sales. And if your sales for a particular item or two are doing very well, Amazon has the information where you get your supply, they'll undercut you. That's why they do it. eBay doesn't do things like that, which is why a lot of sellers of stores wind up selling on Amazon for a few years before ultimately leaving in disgust, and why they stay on eBay for a long period of time. So this would be a great purchase for eBay and be a great way for them to grow, and it could make them competitive again. However, what would this mean for the third-party sellers? Well, maybe not a whole lot, maybe something, who knows? There might even be a scenario where if eBay can't sell some of the merchandise, they might actually sell the merchandise to third-party sellers for pennies on dollars, and maybe the sellers can do something with it. You never know. Each seller is different, and they sell things in a different way. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave this one, though. What do you folks think? Do you think this would be a good move on eBay's part? Do you think it would be a bad move on their part? I would love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.